Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and I'm here with Lee Cockerell. And Lee, we've had some conversations here on the podcast, not on the podcast, about prices seem to be going up everywhere. So what we're dealing with is price increases and or removing service. So the price doesn't go up, but you don't get quite as much. I saw an interesting example recently on the good side. We bring up the bad side a lot, but this one I thought was pretty neat. We have here in Port Townsend, Washington, where I live, we have a car wash that is just fantastic. It's called the car wash. So, very clear name. You know exactly what you're getting. And they offer memberships, which I have a membership for every single car in our driveway for the car wash. And when you go through, because of where we live, it's a very environmentally friendly place because that means a lot here. So all the water's recycled, it's green certified, all of that. You would go through the car wash, and then there would be somebody waiting to hand dry your car for you. But for some reason, we got this email and said, we're changing our service. The person that we will no longer be hand drying your car. And when I read that at first, I thought, okay, here we go again. It's always price increases, it's always cutbacks, it's always give you less for the same amount, sometimes give you less for more. And instead, what they did is they put in new vacuum cleaners. They put this supply area where you have rags where you can hand dry your car or all the cleaning supplies to completely clean the inside of your car. And I have just been fascinated by this decision because what at first appeared to be they're taking something away from us is actually something I feel works even better for the customer. Because now, if you don't want it hand dried, don't worry about it, move on. Or you can pull right up, vacuum your car, clean your car yourself, hand dry your car yourself. And it just has me thinking about in this environment where now customers expect you to raise your prices or take something away or give less. This was a great example of finding a new way to provide for customers. Yeah, maybe they took away the person and it cost them a little less, but they gave us so much in return for taking that away. They didn't just take it away. So that's what I want to talk about. How do we figure out if we have to make an adjustment instead of we've had so many emails I feel this yearly of services that we are signed up for, me and you, some software services that we use, they would raise their prices and they would just say, "Hey, we haven't raised our prices in this many years, so this is your new price." That's kind of what customers expect now. But how can we do something more like the car wash where if we have to make an adjustment, we actually end up having the customer feel like, "Hey, that wasn't so bad. I got something out of this."
Yeah, I think depends on the industry. Some have an advantage like that because, and I agree with you. I go to one like that, and those vacuum cleaners will suck you in it. They're so strong, and they have the window washing spray and the rags and inside, and yeah, I like it too. And the person who can't get out and do that, maybe somebody older, just they'll find a place maybe that does it or pay more for it. Maybe you can pay more for it, but the problem we're seeing in some things, like if you get attached to uh, something that you can't, uh, you know, groceries, you can go to some other store. But if you like, I read technology is one that's pretty hard because if you get hooked and pulled into using a technology for your whole business, even for us, for the one we use for the podcast, so this Kajabi, if they raise their price, what are your alternatives? I mean, how much?
which which they did last month, by the way.
Okay, so then you could say, well, I'll go somewhere else. And I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, every decision like this, you have to sit back and think, is it worth it? Is it worth the price? Or is actually, that's not even the question. The question is it worth what I'm going to have to go through? And can I find something that works like this and that I like and all? And it's not just price increases. Now, groceries, I've told you I used to go to Publix here, and I really uh, became aware how fast they were raising prices. And I never paid attention to prices in the grocery store ever in my life. And all of a sudden, I'm going like, "Whoa, are you kidding me?" And so I started going over to Walmart to check it out. I never went to Walmart unless I needed some tape or something. And I did my shopping there, and I'm doing it all there now because they have everything I buy at Publix. And I will say prices are anywhere from 10 to 30% cheaper. I mean, for the exact same product. I mean, the other day I went over and I got eggs, $1.98 a dozen, milk, $1.98 a half gallon, and it was three something at Publix. And I was telling you this juice Priscilla drinks in the morning was it was at Publix it was 6.89, and at Walmart it was 6.89, and at Publix it was 9.99. $3, three. And I bought four of this and four of that, and I saved like $30, $40 when I came out of there. So it's an individual situation. Now I got things that I put up with, something like technology, or what is there really an alternative? Uh, uh, it's you just have to first. I think if you want to save money, you got to try to figure out ways to do it and take the effort to go do the exploring and ask other people, who are you using and are you happy, and but so many times we're kind of stuck. And you can, I think, the one way right now companies are trying to really refocus on productivity. What can they put in their company to make a secretary twice as productive so she can do two jobs? But we're seeing service decline everywhere. Everywhere I go, they're short of people, and even if they have the people don't have the knowledge of the product you're wanting to deal with them on. So you're kind of still stuck being your own knowledge person about the product because the people have not been trained. And so it's kind of a quagmire we're in right now. And uh, you only got to, we used to talk about the three-legged stool. When you make a decision to raise prices, you got to think, okay, how's this going to affect the customer? Am I going to lose customers? How's this going to affect the employees? Am I going to have to let some employees go because I'm trying to get this cost down? And how's it going to affect my bottom line? And that's the dilemma if of being in business. Three choices you got, no matter which one you make, it's not good. As Daniel, my son, used to tell me, dilemmas, there's no answer. there's there's no yes or no. There's like better, a little worse, really bad, not too bad. And so, but I think you can look at, there's other ways, there's other products. Uh, I must say, even when I go to the store now, I compare the name brand product with the store product to see what the ingredients are, and they're exactly the same. So I'm not so concerned. Literally they're exactly the same. So I take them, and then just depends if you're a person who's worried about that. There's a lot of people who go to pub, they don't care what it costs, and I'm just like a fanatic about saving money if I can, because I don't know why, because my brain has got that stored up there that I'm insecure about money. But yeah, these are the times we live in. Some companies are figuring out better ways, quicker ways, faster ways, delivering it to your house, saving you gas. Almost everything you pay for, you can probably save some money on if you focus on it. Like buy the bigger container, buy it in bulk, really understand how much you're using, how much waste you have and that you're not paying attention to. Um, uh, but it's a being financially aware is something most people are not. I don't think. I think people just get used to the routine, and prices used to creep up. I think that's why we never paid attention. Actually, Priscilla even told me the other day she bought something that it used to, it was the same price, and it used to be you used to get 6 ounces of it, and now you get three. It's in the same package, but there's less product in there, and that's just, they're saying this about cereal. Every time you buy cereal, there's 2 ounces less in the box than there was a year ago, and so people are thinking of all creative ways to try to fool you, and you got to make sure you're not getting fooled. Pay attention to what you're spending your money on. So it just depends. Some things you could do yourself and quit going out. I could quit going out for coffee and save $5 or $6 a day. And some days I just decide, nah, I don't need to go, And so, yeah. And we've gotten lazy too. We buy everything. We don't do anything. We don't make anything. I don't mow my grass. I don't know. And it's like everything we did when I was a kid, we had hardly any expenses. Your mother cooked the food for a big pot of something for the week, and here we blow $50 on picking up food and stupid things like that. And so it's a matter of just going listening. And when I was in a hotel, I thought about that when I went in because it was my business and I was a new general manager. And the first 60, 90 days, I made sure I knew what every single thing cost. I had my people, I would ask them, I want to know what the water bill runs, what the electric bill is running. I want to know how much of this we use. I want to approve every invoice myself. I, if somebody else can pre-approve them, but I want every invoice. I want to know how much tomatoes were this week and next week and this. And it was a huge education of learning. I had no idea. And today it's even worse because most people don't even see the invoice. They just approve them on their computer and they go to accounts payable. And the lack of control in this area is uh, when you become aware of how expensive it is, depending on how it strikes you, you can find a better way if you don't like it a lot. If it's not that big a deal, you kind of say, okay, fine. So awareness is a big deal. I don't even know, do most people even know what they're paying? Have they looked at it lately? I take the receipts now from Walmart after I buy my groceries, and I go over to Publix and walk through and see what it would have been just to encourage me to know that it's worth it. Like everything, every decision you make in your life, you got to say, is it worth it? Is my time worth going to Walmart? Is my time worth, for me, it happens to be okay. Other people may be busy and pay the premium because the time is more valuable to them than the money, than what they spend in a store, convenience. But is it worth it? And you have the time to do alternatives. You can turn your thermostat down. You don't have to. We keep ours pretty cold, and I could turn it down and get a divorce. And is it worth it? you know, uh, yeah. So there's many things to think about in life. Some you got more control over. I think literally electricity costs are really hitting people right between the eyes right now. And a lot of people I know are telling me they've raised their temperature in their house they're not as comfortable as they were, but they're saving the money. And it's almost every single product. It's just insurance companies. I filled out a form to get quotes from more insurance companies this year because mine is just like, oh. And so there's a lot and the internet is great for checking out doing research and finding out how much would this cost? How much would it cost if I bought the bigger one? Actually, I look at the price per ounce and things when I'm buying things, and I often spend more that time to save money in the long term because the bulk is better. And I used to think about spending less money for that visit, but then I started thinking it's just that visit. If I buy it in bulk, it's over time, it saves me money. So you got to rethink how you think about money. And maybe that's even the key. Rethink how you think about it. Is there a better way? Can you do it yourself? Can you hire somebody else to do it? Um, and like anything you focus on, you'll get better at it if you focus on it and look at every angle. Yeah, but if you're happy and you don't have time and you don't, they'll keep charging you. And today you start getting charged, you don't even realize it sometimes. The price went up and we just we keep paying it. And so being aware, I would say. Now Priscilla doesn't like me reviewing her purchases, so we let that one go. It's not worth it. I'm too old to get a divorce right now. So yeah, there's many things you got to think about.
Well, Lee, as you were talking, something came to mind. When I'm in Orlando or Florida, I go to Publix every time. If I need something, because I'm not there much, if I need something, it's Publix because I know exactly where to go and what I need. And if I need help, it's the experience of Publix. Oh, and I think Walmart's a great company. I like Walmart, but I pay a little extra when I'm in Florida for the Publix experience. The
Sure.
car wash, it's because they've made a great experience. Even though they made a change, it's a great
Yeah.
experience. Disney raises their prices every year for Walt Disney World. People go there instead of Six Flags because of the experience. So I
That's
think
true.
that might be the key. We look at some other things that have raised prices. The software we use, they raised prices, didn't give us anything in return. So they didn't change the experience, they changed the price. It left a bad feeling. So I think that might be the key. If you make it about experience, not price, it's easier for a customer to be willing to pay a little more.
And I think a lot of companies actually believe, depending on the product, that you don't have a choice, or you know,
Yeah.
and we make that choice. So you would make that choice. So if you decided you're not going to do that, you would have to spend a lot of time thinking about how you're going to. Yeah, you
Yeah, that's
get more miserable.
and I think I'll use a personal example. My internet service provider is terrible. I don't like them. It's not that good.
Mine too, actually.
I pay a lot of money. They don't provide a good experience, but the experience to actually change seems so painful to me. I don't do it.
Yeah, and it might be the same. You know,
Yeah, it could be
it's
just as
like
bad.
you change and you got the same experience and you're paying less, or maybe, but and internet access is one of those you want it to work. You pay
Yeah.
a little extra. It's like life insurance. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good subject. Pricing. Inflation is real. I found an old
That
checkbook recently from 1968 when Priscilla and I first got married, and I was looking through what we paid for things. Our rent on our two-bedroom apartment in Chicago was $145 a month.
oh my goodness.
And I was looking, do you believe this? Diaper service was like, I don't know, $12 a week. Uh, there weren't, they only had cloth diapers back then. And I was just looking at some of those prices. The electric bill was $31. I bought a brand new car in 1965 for $2,000, brand new. My grandmother bought her house in the late eight in 1960 or 1958 for $8,000, two-bedroom brick home. you know, it's real, and it gradually slips up on you. And well, pay
That
attention to it;
reminds
you'll get what you want.
that it reminds me, Lee, when I was a financial analyst at a commercial bank. We started just a small local bank in Oak Harbor, Washington. There's some guys started it, some friends invested, and I got to know one of the early investors. He has since passed away, but he was our largest private shareholder, and he told me one time, yeah, I invested $5,000 in the bank, and that may not sound like a lot to you, but you could buy a house for $5,000 when I made
Exactly.
that investment.
Absolutely. It Inflation is one of those things that happens slowly. It's like gaining weight. You don't realize it just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Next thing you know, prices have tripled in 30 years. So watch the slow stuff that kind of
Yeah.
you don't notice. You don't notice. And It's, and again, I say anything you pay attention to, you'll probably get better at it if you
Yeah.
focus.
What you made a comment years ago. You weren't talking about me or to me, you were just talking. But I remember you saying, you have a cookie here and a Twix there, and you gain 1 pound a year, and it feels like no big deal until 20 years has gone by.
And I can tell you that's why I wrote my grandmother a letter when I was in the Army in 1964. And I said, I'm doing great, Grandma. I'm a solid 180 pounds because I've been through basic training and all that. And today, that's exactly what I weigh. So now knowing is one thing too. So you don't, you know, and you know, and that just happens to be one I happen to know. And I
Mm.
have a tuxedo I bought in 1984 that I can still wear just fine.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's one change I have made, Lee. I get on the scale every morning, so I at least know whether
Yeah,
I like it or not. I know.
yeah, we need little reminders. Reminders are a big deal. Yeah. And hopefully
Yeah.
this podcast is a reminder to people out there. If you're not happy with something, do something about it.
There you go. Well, one thing you can do something about is to call Magical Vacation Planner so they can help you plan your vacation. You can reach them at 407-442-2694 or go to leecockerell.com. There's a banner right there on the website. They will help you plan the perfect vacation right in the budget you're looking for. It doesn't cost you anything because whether you realize it or not, when you go to Disney World, or Universal or take a cruise, the price is already built in. It's just whether or not you're using the service of a travel agent.
And by
All
the
right.
way, they can
Yes,
put you on a Disney ship or a really cheap ship.
they can. They can do both. They can do both. All right, Lee, another great discussion. Lee and I are so happy that you join us every week. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.